Welcome to Sovereign Mamas, the podcast sanctuary for visionary women who are building lives, businesses, and legacies in alignment with their feminine power. I'm your host, Julia Jerg, intuitive business coach, mama of two, and systems strategist for solo-led entrepreneurs. Here, we honor both your sacred role as a mama and your wild vision as a changemaker. Expect soul-aligned strategy, raw storytelling, behind the scenes, and powerful conversations that support you in scaling your business without sacrifice. If you're done choosing between success and sovereignty, you're home. Let's begin. And sometimes these conversations on the Sovereign Mamas podcast feel like having a conversation with your neighbor. And in this case, today, it is actually literally true. Welcome to the show, Leontine, from my house to your house. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, you're so close.
So good to have you here, Leo. This is so much fun, and to fill the listeners in, Leo is literally living like we live next door to each other. We're on this beautiful island in Asia, on Bali, and we met each other through our children. Both our boys went to the same school and we connected and became friends, more than neighbors, friends. And also, we're doing things in business together. Leo is part of the Sovereign Mamas books, edition 1, Secrets of Sovereign Mamas. And Leo is one of the first 11 co-authors who's contributing a chapter. So today it's long overdue that we have this conversation here and share a bit more about you. Maybe let's start by, just by giving a little bit of an intro of who you are today. You are living in Bali with your family, but there is so much to your story. How did you end up here? And we get to the how, but what would you say today if someone meets you, who you are, and a little intro of what you do?
Little intro, yeah. Well, today I can say I'm Leontine. I'm 43 years old. I'm a mom of two boys, Louis and Arthur. They're 9 and 7 years old.
Mhm.
I have a husband called Leonard, and 2 years ago we moved to beautiful Bali, where we've been living ever since, in the middle of the rice fields, and it's
The
been just
stunning view.
a stunning view. It's been a fantastic journey. And I have my own business. I am an alcohol-free coach, and I help high-functioning women break the gray area drinking cycle. So I would say that's how I would introduce myself now.
Amazing. Yeah, yeah. And this is now it sounds amazing because it is, right? I feel like you've come to a place where you can literally lean back and say, Whew, I've arrived in a sense of the years of moving elements and parts are finally over and they're falling into place. And because I know your story so well, I obviously know that there has been times in your life where it didn't look that way. And maybe, what share how did you end up being an alcohol-free coach and what made you decide doing that as your main mission today?
Well, that's been quite a journey,
Yeah.
but yeah, I've always drank quite a lot in my life. I wouldn't describe myself as a problem drinker, but definitely a gray area drinker. It was
Mm.
just always very present. I'd say from the age of 15 is when everyone around me started drinking alcohol. It was just so normal. Even where I grew up in my house, my mom would say from like the age of 16, oh, now you can have a glass of wine at the dinner table. So it was very, very much part of adulthood almost. And yeah, I started drinking as an insecure teenager, and it just took away all the social awkwardness, everything you're dealing with at that age. And to me, it felt like this magic potion that just took away all those feelings and getting into my head too much. So from that moment on, I was just hooked, and it was or became a part of my life.
Mhm.
And I would usually drink, I was a big social drinker, I would say. So mostly weekends, parties, dinners,
Mhm.
but also in a later stage, hanging out with moms. We'll tap on that later, the whole mommy wine culture.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was very much a part of my life, and I never really questioned it. And I also couldn't imagine my life without it. It was such a big part of connecting, of socializing. Um, but at some point, I did hit a wall. And for a long time, I didn't even know that alcohol was the cause of hitting that wall. But yeah, there was a point in my life, I'd say around 5 years ago, when the kids were still really young, life was really busy. I had a full-time job as a criminal investigator in Amsterdam, which was a pretty demanding job.
Which is so funny to know. I mean, knowing you now, you were a criminal investigator. So,
So
yeah,
yeah,
okay.
life was just busy. We were living in the center of Amsterdam, fast-paced lifestyle.
Hmm.
And then alcohol was kind of like my way to unwind, my reward at the end of the busy week or busy day, and just kind of go like, ah.
Hmm.
Um, but in the end, it wasn't doing anything for me because now knowing more about what alcohol does to your whole system, I know that it doesn't relax you at all and that it's actually has the opposite effect. But back then, I was really much into that pattern. And at one point, I just felt so low and tired all the time, and I wasn't enjoying my life at all. While on paper, I had everything. I had everything I ever dreamed of. I lived in my favorite neighborhood in Amsterdam, had two beautiful kids, a loving partner, great social network. Like there was nothing wrong with my life, but I wasn't happy.
Hmm.
And then I felt like I have to find out what's going on. So I turned to a morning practice. I've always been a bit spiritual, meditation, yoga, journaling. And so I really felt I have to do more self-inquiry and see what will come up.
Hmm.
So I started a morning practice, started getting up at 5 a.m. every morning because I had to get up at 6. So in order to even do this morning practice, it became 5, which was a bit tough at the beginning, but I showed up for myself because I really felt like something has to change. So if I don't change anything, then nothing will change. So I started showing up 5 a.m. every morning, journaling, meditating, and it was really tough at first, but I think after a few weeks, I really came to appreciate these early moments in the morning because it was my time
Hmm.
before anyone else wanted anything from me, or I had to make breakfast, or I had to do this, or mama, mama, mama. Like, you
Hmm.
know how it is with kids? It was just this blissful hour in the morning just for me. So I still do it now, actually. It is a 5:15 now.
Not really me
And
time, but
yeah,
but still.
and yeah, so I had this journal after like 3 months full
Hmm.
of my morning pages written down. And after 3 months, I thought, hey, maybe I should read back what it says. So
Hmm.
I took a day when I had a day off work and no one was home, and I started reading. And well, there was no way around it because
Hmm.
every single morning after I had a few drinks, I would write down the same things. I feel like crap. Why do I keep doing this to myself? I
Hmm.
can't believe I'm still in this pattern. I know it's not good for me. Why can't I just quit? And it was just so obvious. It was like screaming to me from the paper. And I had already had the same message during meditations where this voice from deep inside kept saying, if you quit alcohol, your life will change so much. You have no idea. And
Hmm.
every time I heard that message, I got goosebumps, which is always a sign for me that it's a really powerful message to pay attention to. But it wasn't until I read it in my journal that I thought, okay, wow, this is really something, and I have to do something about this.
Mhm.
But I didn't really want to face it because in my mind, I didn't have a problem.
Yeah.
It's like I drink like everyone else. I'm a social drinker. I like parties. I like dinner parties. So why is this coming up? So it still
Mhm.
took a while to accept the message because I was pretty much hooked on my glasses of wine, as it turned out.
It's like such a great example of how you actually had to come to a point where only you, like you said, there's no one else that who can save you or who can change it for you. You had to do the investigations. You had to go find and dig, and only you then also are in this power position to actually change things. And I feel a lot of times, no matter with what topic it is, right? It can apply to anything with your business, with your partnership, with whatever. Like we outsource our authority so easily, so quickly, but when it comes to actually solving things and moving on and breaking pattern, it's so simple. And yet it's not easy, like you said. It's tough in the beginning. You had to really stick to something that you felt is helping you shift, is helping you reconnect with yourself, and then raising awareness. And so also not to give away all the details of your story because you share it very deeply inside our book. But of course, fast forward to today, you then quit alcohol and you're alcohol free since over 2 years now, 2.5, almost three this year.
Yeah.
And felt this calling now to, and then thanks to alcohol, you moved to Bali, right? Which you also always had on your mind and on your vision boards. And now this has become even so strong in your desire to help others that you're working with women and sharing the process that you've come through, which I find, coming from that business strategy point as a business coach always, this is the perfect example of a thriving business idea, or that can become a thriving business because you've done something, you really broke through something, you feel so passionate about it, and you meant to share your gift or your knowledge now with others and help change the world. So it's really amazing. And when you think about, looking back as an old woman and then talking to your children, what would you like your children, like how they see you and what they fundamentally think about mommy? I always think about that. Like,
Ah, I I always hope that they will think, stay true to yourself and just follow your own path. And
mhm,
that's even what I try to tell my boys now, like, do what makes you happy. And if you don't have to go to college if you don't want to, if you want to
mhm,
start your own business or be a professional surfer or be an artist, but do what lights you up. Because
mhm,
I think for too long, I was stuck in a pattern of pleasing other people and stuck in a system that actually didn't feel true to who I really was.
mhm.
Um, so I really hope that they will remember me as someone who broke that pattern and kind of showed them that
Yeah,
there's a different way of going about things.
absolutely.
And that's what I find really inspiring about being in Bali, because here you're surrounded by people who chose a different life.
Mhm,
While in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, I always felt like the odd one out for wanting something different. Sometimes I would say to my friends, but doesn't it piss you off that you just sit in an office all day and that this is it? Like, did we sign up for this? And everyone would just look at me and go like, yeah, well, it's fine. I like my job. And I'm like, oh, well, I don't really. And here you're just surrounded by all these like-minded people who think out of the box and started their own businesses and do things completely different. And it even opened my eyes even more to all the possibilities. Like if you want
Mhm.
to travel the world with your kids and go to all these world schooling hubs, you can. You don't have to stick to one school or do this or do that. You don't have to do anything. You just do what lights you up.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, and I feel like coming back again to your core topic, like sometimes when, when there is this social pressure, and it's not only with drinking alcohol, but also with the topics that you just named, right? Sending your kids to a certain school or following a career path. It's always like once you're in that, it's so hard to actually notice that you're in an autopilot repeat system that you didn't, like you said, didn't even sign up for, or you did, but you kind of fell into it. This is how I felt as well when I then suddenly woke up and broke out of my routine and system and quit my job. But like getting there, maybe one last loop, because when people are listening and are maybe in their security safety zone and the life which has been true and normal for them forever, then it might even sound very out there. Listening to two ladies in Bali sitting and chatting, yeah, you can actually quit your job, travel the
Yeah.
world, and have a fantastic lifestyle. What would you say held, gave you that courage to then actually go for it?
Yeah, it's funny that you say courage because for me it never felt like courage. For me
Mm,
it was actually harder to stay in that life that we were in. And this felt like, oh, finally I can breathe.
yeah.
So a lot of people say courage, but that doesn't really resonate. And I also found that you create your own cage almost that you're
Yeah.
in. So we moved here because my partner actually lost his job and got a really good settlement and a lot of bonuses and stuff. Like we weren't super rich or anything. That's what people think, if you do this, then you must be super privileged and rich. We didn't have
Mhm.
our own house to sell. We just all of a sudden had access to this amount of money and then just went for it.
Mm.
So a lot of people said to me, oh, we could never do what you're doing now. And then I would say, well, that's not true because you have your own house. If you would sell that now, you would have more than enough money to do this and even last a couple of years in Bali and make it work. So it's
Mhm.
not that you can't, but you don't want to give up your
Mhm.
securities.
Mhm.
But a lot of people are so stuck in it's not possible for me.
Mhm.
Well, often it's more possible than you think, but it means making sacrifices and giving up what you had to make space for something new. And that's the same with quitting alcohol or leaving a toxic relationship or saying goodbye to a group of friends that don't suit you anymore. Every
Mhm.
time you let something go, you create space for something new. But the letting go is the scary part. And a lot of people get stuck there because
Yeah.
change, something unfamiliar, your brain doesn't like it. It's scary. So even if something's unhealthy for you, it's still safer to stay in that same unhealthy pattern or life than to actually go for that change. And
Yeah.
that's what I noticed a lot around me.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's very interesting because I do say courage and bravery because knowing that you came to Bali with, kind of like a ticking bomb, not ticking bomb, but with a timer on it, and you had this vision, okay, if I make it work with my business, we can actually extend or stay longer or be free, right? And so, yeah, I love how you put it because it's true. When you did that step out and you look then back, you notice that whatever you left behind was like a cage, and you are now in a scary new place, maybe at first because it's new, yes, but then at the same time it gives you so much more, right? But we can't know when we're not out of it. And so this one step is the crucial point. And then once you're out, things are falling into place. Things are rolling
Yeah.
and flowing towards you and for you. And I mean, I'm a serial stepping out person. So I know for a fact from lived, embodiment of this that it gets easier the more you do that, because then you know, oh, it becomes familiar. This stepping into the unknown becomes familiar, and then you're actually looking forward to, because you know there will be so many rewards on the other side, right?
Hmm. Absolutely. And I also believe that if you really have this dream in your heart that keeps popping up, that it should be investigated and not ignored
Hmm.
because it's there for a reason. And for me, that has always been to move abroad because I always felt like I didn't belong in the Netherlands. Even when I was a little girl, I was like, did I sign up for this climate, this rain every day? And it just didn't feel aligned. So it always kept popping up. I want to move to a beautiful, warm place.
Hmm.
And and I also found that if you have the guts to go after that dream, that the universe will deliver.
And it
And
did,
I
I
always felt
believe.
that trust. Yeah, I always
Yeah.
felt that trust because that's just how it works.
Hmm. Yeah, it's universal law.
Yeah.
Yes,
That
absolutely.
doesn't mean it wasn't stressful in the first year. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like you said, we had a ticking time bomb
Hmm.
of a bank account that was slowly shrinking down, thinking, oh no, something has to come up now. Otherwise,
Hmm.
we need to shift our plans or go home.
Hmm.
But I always felt this trust, like it would be okay either
Hmm.
way.
Yeah, yeah. And looking at today again, it is really okay, right? It was worth doing it. And now if you envision, obviously we talked about it the other day, like making plans is now a little bit of it's almost like a hard task, because uh, opportunities pop up, new people come into your way that might bring new ideas, and the beauty of creating a life like this is really also to not making plans, because to keep yourself open towards new things that you might not even now be able to imagine. But
Hmm.
if you think about it now, okay, so you're in Bali, you basically manifested that location. Now you're in it, you're doing your passion as a business, attracting all those amazing women into your world. Um, you're a published author in 1 week. We're recording this 1 week before before the book comes out. Shared your story from a really deep, from a depth that maybe you've never done before. I don't know. Yeah, maybe let's do a little loop around the book for one moment. How did you feel when you stepped into this project? Um, did you feel ready to say, "Oh yeah, of course, I'm going to be an author now"? How did that feel?
Well, it felt super aligned because it's my mission to reach as many women as possible with this story. Because I know there are a lot of gray area drinking women out there who will probably feel the same as I did. And they probably don't even know it's the alcohol causing them to feel this low.
Mhm.
So when you sent the invitation to the book project, I instantly felt this is another way to reach more women with my story. And that's my mission.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I felt honored and happy. And it was super healing to just write down that entire story and also to see how far I've come now in comparison to those years ago. So, yeah,
Mhm.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's part of building your legacy, and I'm really happy that you're part of this and contributing, one of those amazing transformational stories, and have this as, yeah, as part of, I kind of feel like it's bringing those, yeah, it's bringing light to the world because you come from this place of I want to change, I want to help, right? And the more we spread those stories, it will create this ripple effect of lighting the dark, and that is how I truly feel about this project. It's not a project, it's this movement, it's this, yeah, it's this new mission of reaching women who may be in a different stage of their life or a different season of their life, and just need to hear other women's stories. And so healing to read other women's stories and just feel like I'm not alone in this, right?
Exactly. That's what helped me so much when I quit alcohol, just listening to a lot of podcasts from other women going through the same,
Hmm.
reading books, and then you're like, I'm not crazy. It's actually quite normal to feel this way.
Hmm.
Yeah, that can be really helpful.
Amazing. And so when someone approaches you now, or is maybe curious and thinking, what does even gray area drinking mean? Am I this? I know you're designing also a quiz, and maybe we have it ready soon so people can, when they come to your Instagram, they can find out which gray area drinker they are, because it's really interesting to then find out, do I have a problem? And if I already think and investigate about this,
Yeah,
then
you probably do.
you know how to do it.
Yeah, because I think that people who are like okay with drinking and drinking doesn't take up that much space, they would never even Google
Hmm.
that sentence. So if you find yourself there, then it's probably worth going a bit deeper. But in terms of gray area drinking, a few of the signs are that you make rules around your drinking, like I
Hmm.
only drink on weekends or I can't have more than two a night. And then you almost always break those rules
Hmm.
because it's hard to stick to them. And when you do, you wake up feeling really disappointed in yourself and you're in this pattern of low self-esteem and feeling um, not that happy with yourself. Then you promise yourself, okay, now I'm going to take a break from drinking. I'm not going to do it for a couple of weeks. But after a few days, you feel better again. So come Friday night, you pour yourself that drink again, and then you're in this cycle that just continues over and over again.
Hmm.
And yeah, basically, if alcohol takes up that much space in your mind and you're constantly negotiating with yourself about it, and um, yeah, like I described, stuck in this loop,
Then
then
it's time to reach out to you.
yeah. Well, if you feel like it's holding you back, yeah, definitely. Which it probably does, because I firmly believe that as long as alcohol plays such a big role in your life,
Hmm.
you will never reach your full potential because
Hmm.
you're always operating from this system that's tired, low, just not functioning at its best. So even for high functioning women that I service, just think of what you could reach if you take away the alcohol, because you're already probably functioning at a certain level now with a career and a family and busy life. But what if you strip away that very thing that keeps dragging you down all the time? Just think of what you could accomplish.
Hmm. That's yeah, that lower frequency, right, in your life, and the element of, and like you say, it's mostly also the thinking about it, the thinking space,
Yeah,
the spiraling then afterwards. So yeah, I love that you're doing that. And of course, in the show notes, we will link to your exploding Instagram account, which is also very fantastic. Like you've been really growing and sharing your mission there on Instagram. And yes, so is there anything, like, to wrap up this episode? Is there anything that you say, you know? We rushed through your life. We came now to many different points through your life, but is there anything that you would want the listeners to hear And it doesn't necessarily have to do with alcohol, maybe also with the realization through motherhood, what motherhood did to you or for you, and any wise words.
I definitely think motherhood forces you to become a better person because I don't think I would have ended up at this place if it wasn't for the boys because they
Mhm.
were a big, big reason that I wanted to show up as a better person.
Mhm.
So they motherhood pushes you to go further than you ever thought you could go in so many ways,
Yeah.
in terms of patience, in terms of love, in terms of, yeah, just doing better for them. I
Yeah.
think I would still be gray area drinking my way through life if it wasn't for my boys. And another big one is trust your intuition because it's always right. So if you keep hearing this voice or keep having this feeling that something's off, listen to it and investigate it because it's trying to tell you something for a reason.
Mhm. Yeah, I love that. And I think this is a really good message. So if you're sitting here and it's even just a tiny little nudge or something stirred inside of you thinking, you know, it may be in relation to moving abroad or testing, test living somewhere else or changing career or really quitting alcohol. It can be sometimes the most subtle changes or the the topics that feel so normal, and they've become a blind spot. That's also a big one. Sometimes we don't even know what it is, but we feel it, and this is exactly what Leo means with intuition, right? You feel something is off. There isn't there is a consistent feeling of rebellion inside of you. And if you have that, stop, sit down, listen, journal. Stillness is the key to unraveling what's actually inside of you and what needs to come out. And if you dare to do so, you'll be rewarded. Yeah.
Yeah, you really you really will be rewarded. Yeah, but it takes you have to take the time to do it and show up for yourself
Yeah.
every single day if you really want the change. It
Mhm.
doesn't just come knocking on your door.
No. Served on a silver platter, that is only in movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story and wisdom with us and the listeners, and with us and the listeners, with us, the listeners and me, and and yeah, just also showing up in the morning. And I know it's early, but it was really, uh, it's always fun to hear those stories. And I truly believe whoever listens to this, there is one thing in for everyone, right? So please reach out to Leo if you feel inspired. We will link to your website and your Instagram account. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. And for everyone listening, thanks for being here. And we can't wait to also share Leo's story inside our book, which is coming up. And if you catch this episode in a year's time, then just go on Amazon and look for Secrets of Sovereign Mamas because it will be there. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.